A military transport plane somewhere over the Arabian Sea. 3 a.m. The cargo hold is empty, except for one woman. She is sitting alone. She is in her mid-30s. She looks 20 years older. The pilot comes over the intercom. He asks her one simple question. "Ma'am, where would you like to go?" She opens her mouth to answer, and she realizes she has no idea. For the first time in 15 years, she has no target, no lead to chase, no whiteboard to update. The most dangerous man on earth is dead, and she has nothing left to hunt. This woman does not have a Wikipedia page. You will not find her face in any news archive. She has never given a single interview. Her name remains classified to this day. But without her, Osama bin Laden would have died peacefully of old age. This is her story. 1996, Langley, Virginia. A young woman walks through CIA security for the first time. She is fresh out of college, no field experience, no weapons training, no idea what she is walking into. The CIA has a problem. A 44-year-old Saudi millionaire named Osama bin Laden has just declared war on America. Not a metaphorical war, an actual written declaration. Almost nobody takes it seriously. Bin Laden is considered a nuisance, a rich kid with a grievance, a loud voice from a cave somewhere. The CIA creates a small unit to monitor him. Alex Station, skeleton crew, tiny budget, almost zero support from leadership. Nobody wants the assignment. She volunteers. She starts reading every CIA file on Osama bin Laden ever created, every intercept, every financial record, every surveillance photo. She maps his network on a whiteboard that slowly covers an entire wall. Her colleagues go home at 6 p.m. She stays until midnight, then 2 a.m. Then she starts sleeping on a cot in a windowless office, surrounded by photographs of a man most of America has never heard of. By 1998, she knows more about Osama bin Laden than anyone outside of Al-Qaeda itself. And Al-Qaeda is about to remind the world that it exists. August 7th, 1998, 10:35 a.m., Nairobi, Kenya. A truck bomb detonates outside the American embassy. The explosion is so powerful, it collapses the neighboring building. 213 people are dead, 4,000 wounded. 9 minutes later, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Another bomb, another embassy, 11 more dead. The CIA finally starts paying attention. What they don't know, what nobody wants to admit, she had warned them in writing months earlier. A classified memo, detailed, specific, sitting unread on a senior official's desk. She walks back to her office. She sits down. She keeps working because the man responsible is still out there and nobody is taking this seriously enough. September 11th, 2001, 8:46 a.m. She is at her desk at CIA headquarters when the first plane hits. She watches the towers fall on a small TV in the break room. Around her, people are crying. People are calling their families. People are frozen. She goes back to her desk. She already knows who did this. She has known for years. But the reality of what just happened will haunt her for the rest of her life because of what her unit knew. Two of the hijackers, Nawaf al-Hazmi and Khalid al-Midhar, had been on CIA watch lists for over a year. Information about them existed inside CIA headquarters, inside her specific unit. They knew these men had U.S. visas. They knew they were moving. But the information was hoarded, caught in a bureaucratic wall, a turf war between the CIA and the FBI. The information was never shared. 2,977 people died that morning. She wasn't a tragic victim of a broken system. She was standing right in the middle of it. And for the rest of her career, she will wake up knowing they had the puzzle pieces in their hands. They just didn't put them together in time. She doesn't get to rewind the clock. What she gets instead is a phone call from CIA Director George Tenet, a chance to balance the ledger. Find him. 2002. The entire U.S. military is now hunting Osama bin Laden. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers, billions of dollars, drone networks across the Middle East, nothing. Bin Laden has gone completely dark. No phone calls, no internet, no satellite appearances. He communicates only through handwritten letters carried by a single trusted courier, hand-delivered, one letter at a time. He lives like a ghost. The CIA has one photograph of him, taken in 1997, already 5 years out of date. By 2005, senior CIA officials want to move on. Alex Station, the entire bin Laden hunting unit, is officially shut down. Her colleagues are reassigned. She is told it is time to focus on other threats. She does not move on. She keeps working on bin Laden, unofficially, relentlessly, alone. December 30th, 2009, a CIA forward base, Host, Afghanistan. One of her closest colleagues, a senior CIA officer named Jennifer, drives to a meeting with a Jordanian doctor. The doctor claims to be a highly placed al-Qaeda spy worth $25 million in intelligence. He is not a spy. He walks through the gates. CIA personnel gather around him. He detonates a suicide vest. 7 CIA officers killed. The deadliest attack on CIA personnel in 25 years. She hears the news in Langley. She does not cry. Not yet. She opens a new file. She writes one word at the top: enough. 2010. For years, she has had one theory nobody believes. Bin Laden is not hiding in a cave. He's living in a house, a real house, in a real city, with real neighbors who have no idea who lives next door. And he has one vulnerability. He trusts one person. For years, captured al-Qaeda operatives keep mentioning the same alias during interrogations: Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti, bin Laden's personal courier, the only living link between the world's most wanted man and the outside world. She has been tracking this name for years. Then, in 2010, the NSA intercepts a single phone call. A man in Pakistan uses the alias. The call is traced to a cell phone in a city called Abbottabad. She grabs the satellite images and studies them for 72 hours straight, without sleeping. A compound at the edge of the city, 8-foot walls, barbed wire on top, every window blacked out, no phone lines, no internet. Residents burn their own trash. No ordinary family looks like this. And then she sees him, a tall figure, visible only from satellites, pacing in a small garden every single evening. The analysts call him the Pacer. She has a different name for him. She calls him Found. February 2011, the White House. CIA Director Panetta presents the Abbottabad intelligence to President Obama. The room is full of the most powerful people in America: Clinton, Gates, Admiral Mullen, the entire National Security Council. Obama listens to everything. Then he asks the question everyone is avoiding: how confident are we that bin Laden is actually in that compound? The analysts give a range: 40 to 95%. He turns to her. She doesn't give a range: 100%. The room goes quiet. An advisor leans over and whispers, "You cannot say 100%. That's not how analysis works." She says nothing. She means it. Obama looks at her for a long moment. He dismisses the room. He sits alone with the decision for 16 hours. On the morning of April 29th, he calls Panetta. We go May 1st. Somewhere in Abbottabad, the tall man in the garden takes his evening walk, completely unaware he has 48 hours left to live. May 1st, 11 p.m. 2 modified Blackhawks lift off from Jalalabad, Afghanistan. She is not on the Hawks. She is at a forward base watching a drone feed on a laptop. The Hawks cross into Pakistani airspace at 150 feet above ground.
threading through valleys, hugging terrain, avoiding radar.
The Pakistani air defense system never sees them coming. The city of Abbottabad below is dark. Dogs are barking somewhere in the distance. 12:32 a.m. The first helicopter begins its descent toward the compound. Then something goes wrong. The compound walls create a heat trap. The modified Black Hawk, heavier than standard, loaded with men and equipment, hits warm, turbulent air trapped between the high walls. The aircraft begins to rotate. The tail rotor loses effectiveness. The pilot fights the controls for 3 seconds. Then he stops fighting. He rides it down. The helicopter crashes hard into the compound courtyard. The tail section crumples into the mud brick wall. Rotor clips the ground. The bird is down, broken, not going anywhere. On her laptop screen, in the dark, she watches the same drone feed that Obama is watching 7,000 miles away in Washington. She watches the helicopter go down. The cursor blinks. She doesn't move. The SEALs don't stop. Every man climbs out of the wreckage, checks his rifle, moves to his assigned position. No hesitation, no confusion. They trained for this. Not this specifically, but for exactly this. The moment everything goes wrong, and you keep going anyway. 12:36 a.m. 3 SEALs breach the guest house. Inside, a man with an AK-47. He raises it. He doesn't get the chance to use it. They confirm his identity. Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti, the courier, the phone call, the man whose single moment of carelessness 8 months ago placed 24 Navy SEALs inside his home at 12:36 in the morning. The man she spent 4 years tracking. He is dead. The team moves to the main building. First floor, clear. Second floor, 97,000 documents swept into bags in 90 seconds. Hard drives, USB sticks, handwritten notes. Al-Qaeda's operational brain, years of planning, enough intelligence to dismantle the global jihadist network for years. Third floor, 1 SEAL moves up the hallway alone. Complete darkness. His night vision turns everything a pale shade of green. The hallway is 15 feet long. It feels like a mile. He can hear his own heartbeat. At the end of the hallway, a door, a figure steps out. 2 shots, suppressed. The figure drops. The SEAL kneels. He looks at the face for exactly 2 seconds. He has studied this face for months in briefing rooms. He radios 3 words: Geronimo, EKIA, enemy killed in action. In Washington, a low murmur moves through the room. On a laptop screen in Afghanistan, she exhales. 4 a.m., forward base, Afghanistan. A body bag is unloaded from the Chinook. A DNA sample is rushed to a portable laboratory. The result comes back in 56 minutes. 99.9% match to confirmed bin Laden family members. She is brought into the room. She looks at the face. The room is completely silent. She says nothing. She nods once. 3,519 days. That nod is the end of 3,519 days of hunting. Obama walks into the East Room of the White House. He says the words the world has waited a decade to hear. Crowds appear outside the White House as if from nowhere. Times Square fills with strangers hugging each other. Ground Zero fills with people weeping. American soldiers across Afghanistan fall silent when they hear the news, thinking of friends lost in wars this one man started. The 24 SEALs return quietly to base. No ceremony, no press conference. Several redeploy within weeks. And the woman who found him? She received a cash bonus. She received the Distinguished Intelligence Medal, the CIA's highest honor. Then she hit reply all on the email announcing the award winners. To dozens of CIA colleagues, people who had fought her, doubted her, reassigned her, shut down her unit, she wrote one message: "You guys tried to obstruct me. You fought me. Only I deserve the award." The CIA denied her promotion, the move that would have raised her from GS-13 to GS-14, an extra $16,000 a year,
for the woman who found Osama bin Laden. A former CIA official was asked about the promotion denial. He said, "Do you know how many CIA officers are jerks? If that was a disqualifier, the whole National Clandestine Service would be gone." She was not permitted to speak to the media. She went back to work, assigned to a new counterterrorism post. The CIA promoted her eventually to head the Global Jihad Unit, a rank equivalent to a military general, still classified, still unnamed in public, still hunting. There is no plaque in Abbottabad, no marker. Pakistani authorities demolished the compound 9 months after the raid, bulldozed, leveled, foundations filled. Today there is nothing there, just an empty lot on the outskirts of a quiet city, as if none of it ever happened. Osama bin Laden, the man who killed 2,977 people on a single September morning, was buried at sea. No grave, no coordinates, no shrine for anyone to gather at. Just the black depths of the North Arabian Sea. Gone. 3,519 days of hunting ended in 40 minutes by 24 men who trained for years, led there by one woman who spent 15 years being told she was wrong and never once believed it. The world celebrated that night. America cheered. Congress gave speeches. The SEALs received their medals. And the woman who made all of it possible went back to her desk. No interview, no ceremony, no name in the history books. Just the next file, the next lead, the next target. Because that's what she does. That's all she has ever done. She found bin Laden, and nobody knows her name.